Welcome to May's Lawn Care Tips, and in this video I'm going to be going through all of the things that I'm going to be doing in the lawn in May, including a bit of an update on my lawn renovation that I've just recently completed in April. I've had quite a lot of challenges in April, just as I imagine most people have with regards to the rain and the weather, and I'm going to be giving you some tips for May on how you can get the most out of your lawn. That include top dressing, fertilizing and aeration, and hopefully we're going to be coming into the spring and towards the summer with a beautiful green and perfect lawn. So traditionally the start of April is one of the best months to actually start overseeding your lawn and putting seed down. Now the April that we've just had is one of the coldest Aprils on record. I read towards the end of the April there was 14 days of freezing temperatures at night times, and it was also quite deceptive because we had high temperatures in the day or higher temperatures in the day, really low cold temperatures at night, and absolutely no rainfall whatsoever. So this is really difficult for any types of seed to really kick off and start germinating. There's two things really that grass seed needs the most to germinate, and one is the correct soil temperature, and second is constant moisture throughout its germination phase. So when you take these things away, it makes it really difficult for the seed to get going and produce some good results. So my first tip for this month is going to be around mowing the lawn. Now I've been mowing around once a week normally at this time of year, but I really haven't needed to over the last couple of weeks because the growth's really slowed down. Now the temperatures are starting to pick up, I expect the plant to really starting to grow, and that's going to mean regular mowing. Now a lot of people ask me what's the most beneficial thing that they can do to improve the quality of their lawn, and it's regards to regular mowing. So keep the mowing up and keep the height of cut consistent. Don't take too much off, but keep the frequency up, and that will already significantly improve the quality of your lawn. Coming up, I'm going to give my lawn the first cut after the renovation plan. Well, I actually tell a lie. I did do a quick trim with the rotary mower because the existing grass was getting so long after seeding, but I'll come to that in the next part of the video. The second tip is around fertilizing. So regular fertilizing of the lawn is probably the second best thing that you can do for your lawn. At this time of year, I'll be looking for a fertilizer that's got a lot of nitrogen in there, something like a 977, and nitrogen is responsible for greening up the grass plant and promoting new growth. All the products that I'm using are available in my shop, and I've left a couple of links down in the description below if you're looking for some fertilizer for this time of year. So whilst we're looking forward to great temperatures for our grass seed to germinate, weeds are also going to take advantage of those temperatures as well, and a lot of the spring weeds that you're seeing are going to start to germinate in the lawn. In my area, I haven't got too many weeds in the lawn itself because I've been using a broadleaf weed control over the past couple of years, and that's really eradicated most of the weeds that I've got. And I'm also able to stay on top of weeds by having a healthy lawn in the first place, which crowds them out. But what I do see is I see weeds in my borders, and we'll have a little look at some of the types of weeds that I've got in the garden at the moment and what you can do to control them. There's a few different type of weed killer products that you've got on the market at the moment, and you can see, for example, I've got a couple of more broadleaf weeds here, which you can pull them out with the hand or a little garden trowel. Make sure you get all the roots. Poa and other broadleaf weeds in the beds. You can also see that I've got some grassy weeds in the lawn here. And really the only option we've got is to dig them out or pull them out. I tend to get mine right along this edge here where the water sits and doesn't really drain. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about with regards to seeding is what can you do if your seed hasn't taken from earlier months. Now I'll show you a few examples of some problems that I've been facing, and that includes seeds washing off the lawn with all the recent rain we've had. You can see just over here there's some seeds that have washed into the borders and the beds, and for those type of seeds obviously they won't come back and germinate in your lawn. You can pick those ones out, and you may need to overseed some areas that have washed out into the rest of the lawn. And there's some other spots like these ones over here for example, that are still just a little bit patchy. Now I can see there are some shoots coming through in this area, and I've got two options here. I believe that the seeds are still all there and they'll be absolutely fine. These are good quality seeds that I've been using, and basically they will come through. So I'm expecting over the next couple of weeks these patches to thicken up when the temperatures increase. If you are concerned that your seeds have rotted or been taken away by the birds, then what you can do is mix up a little bit of soil and some seeds and sprinkle them down and go over any patches areas. These are all natural products, and grass is quite resilient, so generally it will come back unless it's been displaced by water or eaten by the birds. Grass will come through, but if you are concerned, you can go over any of the patchy areas and just fill in those patches ready for thickening up. So the next part of the video, I really want to take a look at how my renovation went and take you through some of the process that I went through. Now, May and April are also great times to do all of these steps, and I've just covered them in a series of videos of how I did my lawn renovation. So let's take a look at how things are looking. And first of all, I scarified my lawn. My particular lawn was not full of thatch. It's quite a new lawn and it's been well maintained, so I didn't go heavy on the scarification. I did a light scarification, and I actually used the rake cassette, and this was to help stand the weed grasses up so I could take some of the tops off them, and really just to remove any dead material so I can free up the soil surface ready for the seed and the top dressing to go on top. The next part that I did was aeration. I used a manual fork aerator and punctured lots of little holes in the lawn. I wanted to do this because I knew I was seeding, and the aeration can give those seeds somewhere safe to sit. But also I was going to be top dressing using a 70% sand and 30% soil top dressing mixture. I did this and spread it right the way across the lawn, and that particular video has actually had more than 200,000 views in just a couple of weeks. I'll leave a link to that in the card above if you're interested in the time-lapse version, but for this video I'm going to be explaining a little bit of how I did the top dressing procedure. So some things I look for in a top dressing is good quality top dressing mix. And what I mean by that is it needs to have a specially selected sand in there mixed with soil. I didn't pre-mix this myself. It was a dedicated top dressing mix which had been screened down to around 1mm, and it had also been sterilized. And what that means is it reduces the weed seeds in there, and basically the high sand content is going to give me a nice and flat lawn. If you've got major bumps and hollows in the lawn, you might want to consider a pure soil mix only, because grass will grow it well in soil and it holds the nutrients well, and that's probably good for the rooting zone of the plant. Now, I chose to go for a sandy mix because my level was already fairly level, and I just wanted to fine off those really sort of fine levels, and that's much easier to do with sand because the particles are smaller and it's much easier to spread. The next step I did was overseeding. Now I use my All-American dark green mix, which again I'll leave a link in the comment section below, and I use this mix, which is primarily a really good quality ryegrass and some other cultivars in there, which hopefully are going to give me a really thick lawn, but also a deep dark green and stripes really well. So at the moment I've really struggled in April. I'm going to hold my hands up like everybody else, and no matter what products that you're using, if the weather isn't on your side, you're not going to get favourable results. However, you can take a look behind me and things have bounded back really well from where I was. I can start to see green shoots, and I think within a week or two this lawn's going to be looking absolutely brilliant.